Hello. Adjusting my little guy at the bottom. Oh, sorry if it echoed for a little bit. My Twitch was open in the background and started playing me speaking, but I've muted it now, so it's okay. Hello to Lay, Luca, Daisy, Daphne, and Neppy. We have folks keeping themselves awake and then also keeping themselves waking up in the morning to come attend the stream, which is really cool. I've got my water here for hydration. Oh, well, we already have Haniel moments. Literally, when I started the stream, she was sitting right here. But then when I started the stream, when I like switched scenes, she left. So we were going to have like a live Haniel moment, and then I guess not. She's sitting on the bed now, like facing away from me, so I don't think she's going to come back up. Maybe later she will. Yes, the queue is very much poppin'. I'm sure Hanya will come for a live appearance later. Hello, Dream. Thank you for coming. It's always nice to see you. It's good when the queue starts queuing rather than everyone waiting to not be first. And you can also queue like before, like while it's on the starting screen. There's no reason to not. Oh, yes. Let me do that poll for you. All right. So we're going to run a poll for... What should Lay choose for morning latte? Okay, so the options are vanilla, sugar cookie, white chocolate, cookie dough. Was it 4 options? I think it was chocolate. I need to spell it correctly. Vanilla, sugar cookie, white... Okay, yeah. Cool. You can do multiple votes this time for... Oh, my little guy. Okay, there we go. For like an amount of points that I set and I forgot. I like also that you use the suggest the poll feature because no one has used that so far. So please, friends, if you would like to suggest a poll, I'm more than happy to throw one up when you claim it as a viewer reward. Alright now. Do what a set is first, so please let me know what you'd like a reading on if you have a specific deck choice, and we can get into it. Doesn't let you join on your phone. Oh no. It wants you to be on the computer. All of them is a good choice. Sugar Cookie does sound great. Hello to Van. Oh, your iPad. That's funny. It wants you to have a bigger screen to see. This is my new Rider-Waite deck. So we got a replacement between last stream and this stream. If you didn't hear the story, I came home one day and a vase was knocked over and water was spilt all over my... Well, not all over, but like over some of my stuff. Including my very paper card based Rider-Waite deck. And I did not realize that I hadn't dried it enough. Because then I was looking at my cards and I was thinking, what are these black dots on them? And then I realized that it was not good. Alright, Cookie though is the winner with 4 votes for Lay. Look with my peepers. Yep. I'm gonna just do this. Just in case, because I can't switch it, otherwise it will take them off the queue. The other decks get messed up with just that one. Just this one. Because this was the only one that I had like this, just sitting on my desk. Like over here. And my other decks were over like that way. On a shelf. So far away from the vase. So it's just this one. Otherwise, it was just like a tray of stuff that got wet. But I think it's all fine. Yes, message from Ma'at. So for that, I have... You can choose between these 2 decks. This is the Egyptian Star Oracle and this is the Egyptian Gods Oracle cards. I mean, I do have also this Egyptian Tarot, though I think the Oracle cards are a lot more fun. Yay! Okay. Yes, it's a beautiful deck. Alright, Neppy, you've claimed a fun fact. What would you like a fun fact on? L! What are you doing here? But also, thank you so much for subscribing. You're on a 3-month streak. Thank you so much. Good morning. For the people who would like to, please wish Elle a good day today. Because Elle is gonna have a day. But hopefully a good one. So have a good day, Elle. And everyone. But also Elle, especially. General fun fact. Okay. It's not meant to be ominous. It's meant to be kind and loving. Alright, I need to lock in for this general fun fact. Wow, congratulations, Vanji. Okay, everyone say congratulations to Vanji now in the chat. having to think of a general fun fact is tricky. Nature related. Alright, let me do this message first so we can start on the queue. Alright, a message from Matt. Alright, so your first card is Mutt, being ordinary. You also have Ha for exploration. And Taweret or Teweret for Genesis, or the message Genesis. Alright, well, for your message from Ma'at, she's coming through with the message that trying to differentiate yourself too much or focusing too much on differentiating yourself from others in your practice, on your path, is going to tire you out faster than if you focus on just being you, even if that feels a bit boring or ordinary or mundane or mediocre, which you're not. Every person is unique in their own way, and every person is not mediocre, but it's also that intentional, like sitting in the concept of not being ultra special or unique or paid attention to in certain ways, like you may see, for example, online. Not everyone has to have a thing, a niche that they're tapping into, a personal brand they're creating, and all these things. Sometimes it's enough to just be who you are and whatever you're doing, because that will come with its own specialties without you even having to put as much of that effort in, right? So it's like if you compare the effort of constantly being focused on trying to be different or unique, then there can be a lot of work, and it may create certain expectations that you might not be able to meet for whatever reason, and that can feel not great. But if you let yourself be yourself, you will naturally come across the things that will differentiate you in the way that may be more beneficial to you or may be more fulfilling. And that's where the exploration card comes in, because you won't know exactly what your path is going to look like. You don't know what's ahead exactly. But what you do know is that you can have fun with exploring things and seeing what may be ahead in different ways, and not being locked into one thing or one niche or one idea. That's the good thing about being ordinary, in quotes, is that you are a canvas for many things that could happen or things that could be explored or come across, right? So allow yourself to explore at this time. There's no need to settle on one label, one thing, one area. The Genesis card is really promising as well, because what I see this journey as in these 3 cards is that when you do allow yourself to be ordinary and explore, you will find a Genesis through that, and Genesis represents a new beginning or a creation of something, right? So it's funny, because the irony is that when you do channel your energy into not trying so hard to do one thing specifically, you will find that thing you are looking for. And that's what she's telling you here, that you can be you, and you'll find exactly where you need to be afterwards and what will be created on your path for you. First reading of the night, so I hope that's good. I think it's a nice message. You're welcome. May Ma'at bless you too. Thank you for coming in for a reading, and feel free to stick around if you'd like as well. Okay, racking my brain for fun fact. Yes, general message. The only thing I can think of right now for... Oh yeah, unknown fact about Hecate studies. To be honest, I don't know why I put like a... I do know why. This is me being lighthearted, but I don't know why I put a fun fact thing there because I am not great with fun facts. So it's like pay 1,000 points to watch me struggle to think of a fun fact. Okay, let me think. Unknown fun fact about Hecate. $1,000 points well spent. A lesser known fact about Hecate is that she actually had a number of shrines at different well-known sanctuaries and temples. So her famous free maiden statue that faces three ways was actually there was one significant one located in the Acropolis in Athens, and it was near the winged Nike, Temple of Nike. There was also a shrine to Hecate at the Delphinios of Apollon at Miletos. And a few other shrines here and there of Hecate, for example, with like Artemis. So for a goddess who can be regarded sometimes as one who was not worshipped very widely because of her lack of sanctuaries or temples that we know of. She had presence at very significant locations. Alright, a general message for Dream. I hope that was a good fact. Hey Omen, and I'm glad that was good, Neppy. So your guides are bringing up that there is a lot of this need to move on going on right now. Because the Six of Swords is a card about, taking what's important to you, perhaps, and getting on a boat and moving to a different place, like literally traveling somewhere else, moving from one point A to point B, moving on, and only taking what's important to you. Hey Viv, welcome into the stream. Also the Five of Cups, where we have a figure looking at the knockdown cups. You know, this feeling of disappointment and grief is coming through, but there's also these two other cups behind, and, you know, the bridge that they can go across to somewhere else. It's like both of these cards have this concept of moving across water, traveling across water to get to a new place, to get to a new location, to move on from something. So if there's some sort of like travel coming up, or a trip you should be making, or a place that you've been thinking of going but you haven't had a chance to go, this could be a big move, could be a smaller one, but one that is typically across water, across to a new location, where you can make that choice to leave something behind in order to pursue something new. You've just been back from traveling. Cool. I think there's something to definitely reflect on then in terms of your relationship to traveling, and also what that particular trip may have represented for some things for you. If it shifted some priorities, gave you a new perspective, maybe gave you some sort of motivation for something new. Oh, from Bali on Monday. Nice. There could also be this sense of you having done something while you were on that trip that allowed you to release something, or to move on from something, or identify something that you need to move on from that should be recognized, because we do have the Six of Wands here as well. And the Six of Wands can represent this public recognition or celebration. And I see that as sort of the way forward for you in this message, where these thoughts about moving across waters, moving on from something, leaving something behind is on your mind, and how recognizing that within yourself in a positive light, whether or not it's traditionally or expected to be something that is celebrated, it should be for yourself. We have the Judgment card. And the Page of Wands. So potentially if you had anything that was particularly spiritually insightful for you, something that really made you think, wow, I want to do this more, or I should implement this when I'm back home, or this inspires me to make a certain step in my spiritual path, then that's what they want you to sort of focus on right now. I feel like there is something that you did learn on that trip that may be significant to your growth and where you see yourself going on your path. Does that ring any bells for you? That's good. Yeah, I do see a lot of positivity, like following all of this release and movement. And I hope things have been well since you've gotten back. Now it's Neppy. Back at work today, all good. Went back to running kids' art class last night. Just getting back into the UK time zone. Oh, cool. That's really nice. A kids' art class sounds really sweet. Do you have a deck preference, Neppy? You're being funny, making me choose the deck. Question of the day, do gods get preferences? Like preferences for certain decks, or do you mean something else? Yeah, gods do have preferences. There are a number of gods who prefer the Dungeons and Dragons tarot deck. It's a big hit among the gods. And then Hecate does prefer her own decks that I've dedicated to her. And some gods will kind of go, use that deck, use this deck, depending on the vibe. So like Apollon, for Apollon I'm using the Messenger Oracle rather than just like the Rider-Waite, because these ones have certain types of messages. Of course the gods love the D&D deck, it's like mythology. Yeah, the D&D deck and the MTG Oracle is basically like mythology, storytelling, adventures, fantasy. Has anyone else experienced deities having preferences for certain decks when doing divination with them? Or even different methods? This is Neppy's message from Apollon. The Citadel Oracle. Yes, that is so good. The Citadel Oracle. I don't know if you've gotten these cards before or someone else has, but I feel like these cards are very familiar. Your first card is Calm in the Storm. We also have Surrender to the Flow. And also Seek Your Answers Within. Have you been doing much divination for yourself, Neppy? It's not a significant... that's not a significant part of the question, or the reading, sorry, but I'm just asking it anyway to see. Omens had a few decks, and from the ones that aren't dedicated to anyone specifically, deities usually seem to have a preference for one of the 3 decks. Cool. Yeah, like doing your own tarot. Okay, no worries. So this is all up a reminder about how even in the noise of everything that goes on, whether that's in life, whether that's online, in conversation with people, in expectations that you have, in things that you consume, like emphasis on consume, because we do consume a lot these days, there is still a chance to have that quiet moment among it all, just to connect with yourself and also with your deities. I like this imagery here because there's that shining light sort of in the chest area of this person, and it's not a sun, like it's a star symbol on top of a shell, but I think it's still significant because it sort of reminds us of the sun, like a little sun, and like the sun is a star as well, just a big version of it. And I think it's a really sweet way of him saying that he is with you, and that you are able to... the word I'm going to use is experience him in a way that is quite warm, or like it's like you can feel it, right? It's not just assuming, it's the warmth in your chest when you do like devotional stuff. That's not just you, that's also like that connection between you and the god. And he doesn't have to be like external or sending you anything specifically like signs or such, or, you know, long sentences that come through to you clairaudiently, for example. It's just, it can be a feeling you experience that may or may not be only you or whatever it is you're doing as part of your worship. Yeah. In part of, like, as part of that whole idea of, you know, cutting through the noise and the storm and finding that calm spot and that centered calm, it's also part of surrendering to the flow, which is the second card here. Because you could be thrown around and thrashed around by the storm, by the chaos, by everything. Or you could be like this ladybug, sitting on the leaf, and rather than being controlled by it, you ride out the storm, you ride the chaos, and you use that, and you settle in it, and you realize that you'll be able to find your way through. Because the ladybug also represents good luck, which I think is cool. And it's sort of this idea of, even when you surrender to the flow and you just rest and you ride out the storm and you ride out the chaos, good luck is still going to come your way, and good things are still going to come your way, even if you don't try to fight against the storm. You were just thinking today you have to get back into working through learning tarot. Yes, so that leads me to the last card here, which is Seek Your Answers Within. I think you'll find a lot of benefit from continuing your learning of tarot and divination, because yeah, there may be worries you have or things you want to inquire about with your deities that, you know, you can always go to others for as well. That's what community is all about, and I think it's a great honor and privilege that we have community now that we can go to for divination. it's kind of nice because it makes me think, back in the day they had oracles and you'd go to the oracles to get divinations, or you go to oracle centers where they may have like written down oracles or, different types of divinations. And then nowadays in our communities, we get to go to our friends and cool people to get readings from. And it's sort of like going to our modern day oracles. I think I got off track there, but basically, fine if you want to go to other people. It's a beautiful thing. At the same time, I think he's definitely encouraging you to be able to find your answers from your own divination practice, and by doing that, in devotion to him, which you probably were already doing. So, yeah, you should get back into it and try to seek some answers within, aka seeking some answers with your own tools and seeing what you reflect upon and how you make interpretations and stories with the cards. And that is your message from Apollon. Yes, little VC time study moment. That would be very good. You're welcome. Also, when Van has capacity to, they'll be continuing their series on tarot. Their series of lessons on tarot, which you can tune into, hopefully, depending on time zones, to learn about some stuff as well. Yes, thank you, Apollon. Alright, Daphne is next. Time to hydrate. Thank you, Neppy, and I'm glad that you were able to have your reading this time. Lay! You knocked over your latte. Don't be mistaken. If my little guy's smiling, I'm not happy about you knocking over your latte. That's so sad. Did it all spill? Like it's all gone? Alright, Daph's reading for today is going to be with the Archangel Raphael deck. With guess who? Archangel Raphael. If you didn't guess correctly. No! Are you gonna get another one? Are you able to get another one? We'll even vote again if you need. Oh, it's so sad. Show up if you want, I guess. Well, he did guess. Everyone do an F in the chat for Lay's latte. We hope our condolences can help you get another latte. It was kind of funny, Daphne, because I basically cycled through like every deity I know that's like kind of in your vicinity. It was like a spinning wheel that like went around to see who wanted to come forward, and then it was an archangel. Have you gotten a new chain for your pendant yet? Okay, he wanted me to ask, but you know, you'll be able to figure it out. Okay, your first card is funny meditation. Yeah, he kind of was like, I wonder if she's gotten the chain yet. You should ask her. Meditation. He would like you to meditate more with him. He has many words to say. And also, he, of course, in a more applicable manner, has, you know, he can like help you a lot in meditation. It's not just sitting there and doing meditation. It's him being able to provide that peace and comfort and healing that you need in that time, right? Because sometimes we may not want to meditate because we think, why would I meditate? You know, like I don't need whatever, or I don't want to just sit here, or, you know, as much as we do love meditation sometimes as a part of our practice, sometimes we kind of think, why do we do it? Here's his reminder that he would like you to, for your benefit as well, not just for him saying it. So his second card is Avoid Allergens, which I think this deck is really funny with the way that it's so like medically aligned, because, you know, he is the angelic physician and doctor. So avoid allergens could be literal if you have allergies around this time. Could also be not so literal in the case of, are there things that you continuously expose yourself to or are around that causes you to have some sort of reaction, physically, mentally, spiritually, yet you kind of just try to deal with it and you just keep going back or keep doing it, and yet it keeps affecting you. For example, or it's kind of like when you have hay fever and you keep going out there and there's like pollen everywhere, right? But then you're not like taking antihistamines, or you're not wearing a mask, or you're like, you intentionally bring a lot of pollen into your house. It's like stuff like that, perpetuating that allergen that bothers you, yet you can do something about it, yet you don't. It's that concept where he wants you to recognize some of the allergens that you may be, you know, having in your life, that may be around in your life, to then move away from, or to avoid, or to treat, in a sense. This could be patterns of things, habits, actually other people, things you keep going back to doing, places you keep going back to that are not good for you. His third card is Sunlight. I'm trying to listen to what he's saying right now. It's like a double-edged card, or double-sided card. Not literally, but like it's like a double-sided card where on one hand he's using this card as a sweet thing to say, which is, you know, like when they use like sunlight like romantically, or to say that, you know, you're a light, or you're my sun, or, you know, all these other things. It's like a sweet way to like refer to you or recognize you. And then on the other side of things, he's like, get more sun. Not exactly touch grass, but you know, it's also like be more present in the sunlight. So not just being in the sunlight, but being like aware of it and how it feels to stand in the sunlight or walk in the sunlight. Observing where it is in your room, where it shines, stuff like that. It's like being present and aware of things. Not exactly touch grass means touch grass. Yeah, it's like going outside and stuff, but it's more about the mindfulness. It's being mindful of what's around you, not just being in the sun, but really being present in that environment. His last card is Home Help, which is this man with big butterfly-like wings riding a horse. If there is anything you need help for at home, then feel free to ask him. You don't know what he might do. You never know like if he'll have like an exact solution you're looking for. I mean, the whole thing about asking the divine for help sometimes is to not set expectations for what they will do to help us. But don't be afraid to ask him. And he will do what he can to help out your situation in what you ask. Because you do have to remember, the number one thing with angels is that you need to go to them for help, for them to help you. A lot of the time they won't come in without your permission or consent, or like if you don't ask them, they kind of assume you want to do it on your own, or that you have other spirits helping you. But you know, if you want that help, then yeah, go ahead and ask him. Hello, Risanio Vibes. Welcome to the stream. You can see the rules for my readings if you just scroll down to the About section, and then there's some rules and such there. I will add a rules command at some point. Though I feel like it'd be really long. But you can find the rules in my About section about how I go about readings and some other rules about conduct. But welcome. Yeah, so that's your reading, Daph. I hope that was helpful for you and gave you some insight of what of what he wants to tell you. You are welcome. And yes, thank you, Raphael. Alright, it is Luca's turn. Oh hey Momo. Long time no see in the stream. He's so funny because I was like, I need to spend more time with you. He was like, I'm just happy to be here. That emoji is his exact face. Yes, feel free to type who in the chat and I will spin the deity wheel. I will gauge who would like to come forward with a message. Haven't really been active, but you're here now. Oh, cool. Well, good to see you. Just as a reminder in the interim that if anyone would like to join the queue, then you can use the join command up here, the !join command. You can also donate to my Ko-fi, which is just the link down here. You can also do the donate command in chat. Donating means you get bumped up to the top of the queue, or if you've already had a reading or you don't want to be at the top of the queue, you can also get a second reading. Donations are optional yet really appreciated because it helps me with continuing these free reading sessions for my friends and community. And on my Ko-fi, I also offer private readings written down in a document usually. And you can ask, you know, more personal questions or get more detail on things or have it like in a written form. I haven't really put it up on the Ko-fi, but if you want as well, and if you like a video format, like if you like this, but you want a private reading, I mean, you can just put in the description box that you want a video recorded version, and I will do that for you as well. I probably should add that as a note to my Ko-fi at some point, but yeah, if you like that, then I'm happy to do something like that. Alright, Artemis, Hecate, Athena, Nyx. Hecate stepped back, Nyx stepped back. It's either Artemis or Athena. Okay, the answer is both of them. They both will tag team a message for you. Do you have a deck preference? It's happened before because a good friend of mine asked me for a reading from either deity or deity, and it ended up being both of them in that reading. So they both came up and I was writing it out from both of them. It was very interesting and fun, actually. It was in a format I hadn't really done before. It was like transcribing a conversation at the same time as it wasn't only writing the dialogue, it was writing out like actions and intentions, and I don't know how to explain it, but it was cool. But yeah, I'd asked if there was a deck preference. If there's no deck preference, yeah, okay, MTG. Yes! I will use this one. If I don't get my cord tangled up all over it. Let's pull up my Ko-fi. Ah, yes. Okay, just as a random call out, Lay, I'm not sure if you have someone in mind already for who you want a reading from later, but Hermes is kind of like, yeah, Hermes is wanting to say stuff. I don't know if you intended to ask about for Hermes, but he was kind of, yeah. I guess he wanted to tell me early. I had to check if you were in the queue. I'm not kidding. Hermes sends me a donation for my Ko-fi to force a skip queue. Okay, this is an interesting set of cards for Luca. I know better than to not listen. Was not originally planning on asking for him. Okay, cool. Well, not cool, but interesting. Okay, so for your 4 cards, because you got 4, from both Artemis and Athena, we have transitions, tunnel vision, mental reflections, and also reincarnation. It feels as though they're calling you out on something. It sounds like there is some sort of change or shift going on, maybe with your path or devotions in general, or with them specifically, where they're sort of wanting to bring attention to some sort of tunnel visioning that you're doing at the moment that may involve a certain path you may anticipate yourself on or be trying to predict if you're going to be on. And it may be restricting your view of what can happen or what could happen. A type of transition is a liminal period that can be really good for broadening your perspective rather than trying to narrow down. It was similar to what I was mentioning before, where it's like, it's not about trying to find a place, a small place to fit yourself into in like search of comfort or having a place of belonging, right? Your belonging doesn't rely on you finding a specific place to stand or be, or a specific label or some sort of titles or a certain pathway, stuff like that, right? That's not what makes you a practitioner who is satisfied or fulfilled with your practice. It really is more about seeing where the boat takes you and seeing where you want to take yourself. Not every decision or influence is made by the deities in your life, so there's not always something where they intend for something for you to do and yet it's like your job to figure it out and then do it. It's really a collaboration where you can be in search for something but also not specify it or narrow it down right away, and rather have mental reflections, so reflect on things of what you want, on who you are, on where you see yourself going, and also all the time that you have going forward for everything you want to do. Because you have time, the room, and the space, and there are so many years ahead that will hold so much potential for what you can explore. I think reincarnation is a super interesting card to get here. I just like the art. I was just looking at the art, so you can look at the art as well. I like the card reincarnation being here because it's this idea that, you know, even when you know your past selves, right? So like using this in a metaphorical sense, but also in a literal sense if that's ever something that you're exploring for yourself. even when you know about your past selves and past incarnations of who you are and who you were, really, it doesn't mean that those expectations held or those paths walked or those things that you may witness or experience, for example, when if you want to explore that stuff, for example, it doesn't have to define who you are now. And so it's in a sense this idea that just because you experience something, just because you may resonate with something, just because you may be walking a certain path now or later on or whenever, it doesn't lock you in a way, right? There are certain things where it's a bit more serious about what you claim or what you do, what you take. But also that, if you navigate things in a safer, responsible way that is, researched and also connected with other people, and, you are reflecting on yourself constantly, having that self-reflection, then you're not going to find yourself on a path where you've completely locked yourself into something for the rest of your life. And that means that's a good thing sometimes as well, or a lot of the time, because it means that you don't have to have that tunnel vision. You can explore and broaden things. There's going to be time in the future when you may want to take certain pathways or certain, commit to certain elements on a pathway. But today doesn't have to be the day. Today does not have to be the day. They want you to just explore and, embrace who you are and embrace yourself and, find joy in the world by running through it, but not just like the Cyclops tunnel visioned, but with a more in-depth and connected perception of yourself and what could be. That's your reading. Really interesting timing. I like the sound of that, I think. If it correlates to something that you've been looking into. And feel free to share if you would like to. My chat is super open if anyone wants to converse and stuff, as long as you're being appropriate, and not being rude. But yeah, you can talk about stuff if you want in the chat at the same time. Tag team reading, yeah, super fun. A meeting today to add another major to your degree. Oh yes. Were you the one who was thinking of adding a classics degree or something similar? Cool. Is the meeting gonna kind of just be, let's see if you're suitable to or in a good spot to add one, or is it going to be, let's do it now, tell us what you want and we'll put it in the system? Alright, it's Van's turn. Let me know what you'd like a reading on. Let's do it now vibe. Oh, very exciting. That's awesome. It's a me, Van. A reading from Hades, as you not received one from him in a long time. Okay. Do you have a... Okay, I'm gonna ask if you have a deck of preference, but also he has a preference for this one. So you can go with this one, or you can choose another one. Also for folks, depending on your time zone, I am doing a live delivery of my lecture, A Non-Chthonic Portrait of Hecate, which is a lecture that explores some of Hecate's non-underworld or chthonic aspects or literature or tradition. That's taking place on my Discord server, Sanctuary of the Crossroads, which if you do the Discord command, !Discord, you'll find a link to my Discord server, as Lei has kindly sent in there. And yeah, that's going to be in about like trying to think of words, numbers, 10:30 plus 20, so almost 11 hours. Yes. Just shy of 11 hours. I'll be presenting that. I'm shuffling this upside down. And it'll be cool, hopefully, because it won't just be a delivery of the lecture. It'll also be a chance if you want to ask any questions or discuss anything about the content, then that'll be cool as well. Oh no, sleepy peoples. Also, Momo, what are your spiritual shenanigans? Oh, your last close. Don't forget to open your window. That sounds a bit funny. Alright, Hades' message for Van. Gonna do a quick confirmation on what these cards are because art style. Oh yeah, it was very distinctly like a you know, two goddesses standing side by side, and you know they had their respective weaponry. It was very powerful, like the two of them standing together there like that. Two maiden goddesses who are, you know, warriors in their own rights. Figured out which card this is. one day I'll be able to read this deck without having to check the art with the book. Okay, so your reading here with Hades today, Van, is a reminder to you about yourself in a positive way, right? The Queen of Wands is the first card that we have here. So this is the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Batons. And here he wishes to recognize some of your qualities as a person who is very compassionate and loving and caring towards others and non-judgmental. So you're open and you want people to feel safe around you and feel comfortable around you as well. Particularly when people have a sort of thing they're really passionate about, some sort of project idea, you know, those things where people typically don't want to just share out loud because they feel like they'll be ridiculed or judged for it. You know, he's saying that you're the kind of person that people can go to for those things because you allow yourself to embrace other people's ideas and other people's passion. And even if you don't understand it, you know, that's something that he can really appreciate. And I'm jumping to the Four of Cups here because it feels like he's saying this because it's something you may forget sometimes, that you are a kind, compassionate and non-judging person. You know, everyone has certain judgments sometimes. You know, we have certain things where we look at certain people or have witness certain experiences and, you know, our prejudices or things that we have been taught or things we've been conditioned to. We, you know, have all these automatic thoughts about people and stuff. But it doesn't mean that you as a person is unkind or cruel or anything like that, right? And it's something that he wants you to remember. Because we can sometimes forget our own kindness, especially when we don't practice that kindness towards ourselves. So it may be something that you need more of from yourself and from others too. The idea of not being judged, the idea of being shown compassion and love and excitement in any ideas you have, whether or not they work out, whether or not they are rooted in anything that the other person is interested in. It's like just that kind regard for others. The middle of the spread is the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like the figure at the top is very cute. Has like like the bunny ears or something, or like moth antennae. But this is the Wheel of Fortune, which I find really interesting because it's sort of this imagery of a lot of people working together in the wheel. And it's not like you're not the only one on the Wheel of Fortune. You're not the only one who's spinning around and experiencing the good, the bad, the push, the pull, and this side and that side, and this outcome and this outcome. Oftentimes, the Wheel of Fortune is an interconnected network of people and experiences in time, place, right and wrong, all these different concepts. They all weave themselves into, you know, the network of fortune. Fortune isn't as simple as a single turning wheel. It's much more complicated than that. Fortune and fate, I have to say. And it can be a good thing to recognize that there are other people on the Wheel of Fortune with you. It's not just about, you know, whether someone else is taking your fortune, whether someone else is causing your bad fortune, but the idea that we all contribute to the wheel. And, you know, the more that you put out goodness for yourself and you already do put out goodness for others, then you can expect that fortune will come your way. And, you know, when you surround yourself with other people who do very similar things, then that is also how the wheel turns in your favor. But all of that is in part recognizing this part of yourself and your place in that operation, right? You play a valuable part in it all, and you need to remember that sometimes. And that's your reading. Let me read your message. Oh, interesting. Yeah, compassion fatigue. We actually learned about that as well at uni yesterday. So exactly the same. No, the wall of text is fine. We had compassion fatigue as a part as well in our lecture or workshop. So that's a funny coincidence. Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of things going on there, a lot of parts to it in terms of the people, the studies, the uni, and everything. I really hope that you'll be able to find a way through all of these things that you're thinking about and feeling as well, to help yourself feel more connected to yourself and others if needed and if wanted, if desired. It does sound like a very difficult position to be in. Safik Safira, you asked, how do tarots work? Well, a tarot deck is a system of cards, of 78 cards, formed of a major arcana and a minor arcana. The major arcana has its set cards, and the minor arcana is four suits. And they kind of emulate playing cards, but in a way, yeah, they're a unique system of their own. And people use tarot and drawing tarot cards to read certain situations, or, you know, use it as a form of spirit communication, things like that. The main thing is the system of cards that can be learnt. Bye, Van. Thanks for coming in, and I hope you have a good day. It's Lay's turn. To play blackjack? Probably not. I mean, I feel like you could, actually, but might be a bit trickier. Yeah, spirit communication is a field of its own that people may get into with like spiritual work. They may connect with certain spirits or deities and develop ways of communicating, you know, channels of communicating. Sometimes it may involve evoking or invoking a spirit or deity, and then using the cards as a way of communicating and speaking. Luca, thank you for the donation. Ignore the notification, this isn't wanting a second reading. Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your generosity and kindness. Okay, Hermes. We're gonna do a dice first, and then we're gonna see if he wants to do cards as well. If he didn't do it on stream, that's so funny. Thank you so much. No, we're doing it right now. We're doing a dice first, and then we're going to see if there's a deck that's going to come through as well. Alright, I need to get my chart up. So give me a moment to grab it. Six, 6, 4, 1, 1. Six, 6, 4, 1, 1. Oh wow, it rolled exactly in the order that it appears in the book. Page 105. Okay, so your dice oracle reads as follows. Adrasteia, she who none can escape. If 2 6s fall 2 1s, the fifth a 4. That upon which you act will be positive. Good fortune will be yours from the beginning, and all dangers will be swept aside. All other divinations will be positive for you. That is a nice dice oracle. That's so nice, suspicious. Daph has claimed a priority MTG Oracle pull, which we'll do right after this reading. I'll do a couple more, or not a couple more, a couple cards from this deck for you as well, Lay, to tell us more about all this good fortune that apparently he's telling you about. /LH. Seven of Charisma, 10 of Wisdom. In any choice that you're making, make the one that feels the most right for you. Don't try to ruminate over what is going to be the correct choice by trying to spiral into different outcomes and what things may happen. The choice you make will be aligned for you, heart and mind, and there is always opportunity to diverge or change things and stuff and be flexible in the future going forward. But at least while you're making this choice now, don't try to scare yourself out of things by, seeing what could go wrong. Rather see what is actually what you're looking for at the moment and what can feel pretty aligned with you in order for your path forward. It's very positive. Like, he doesn't want you to feel stressed over things that you're thinking about, because that just isn't the point of this whole thing. The point isn't to make you stressed or overthink. The point is to present what could be what you're looking for at the moment, or what could be really fulfilling for you at the moment. Yeah, I mean, he did say that the divination would be positive. So, yeah. I think it's perfectly fine. He wants you to have that card as well. Justice. Which is once again about, in this context, your inner truth and what you find just for yourself above all. So same thing, just emphasizing it more. And also with a very beautiful art. You are welcome, Lay. Alright, let's do this pull for Daphne. Okay, it was a huge jump. You get 2 cards. With these pulls, there's not too much of an interpretation, but the warrior and reincarnation. So maybe something for you to explore. Cool stuff. Look, the wrong card. The archways match my mat. They're matching. Yeah, it leapt so far. Citrina, thank you for the follow as well. I missed that for a moment, but thank you so much for joining my stream. I pretend I do not see. Thank you. Alright, have a good meeting, Luca. Let us know how it goes. I still love that he just popped up into your space like that. It's very, we're trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Yeah, that's so good. I love it too. I love that you humoured him. Alright, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for the prompt. Cool. Another deity wheel. Joining the queue. Well, let me check the queue. Yes, you can join the queue. You can do the exclamation mark join command to join the queue. Deity wheel. You're welcome. Just be sure to read my about section below the video where I write what I can and cannot read, or what I can read and what I choose not to read. Just prior to, yeah, sending your prompt. But yeah, let's see which deity wants to come through for Omen today. Great, thank you for reading it. Alright, your message today is going to be from Freya. And then there was this like essence of the messages co-signed by Aphrodite. So it's not quite like a dual reading, but it's like the message will be like similar to what Aphrodite wants you to know as well. We'll use the deck that I have in my hands right now. I'm a bit sleepy today, so we may be ending the stream a bit earlier than usual. Because we usually go for like 3 hours or something, but we might end up ending at 2 hours. And by that I mean I dread it. Oh dear. You got the warrior card too. We just had that one. Kinda love this. The warrior. Breaking free. And the unconscious. There is a warrior-like, very fierce part of yourself that you may keep hidden away, that you may push down sometimes, that you'd rather not have show. It's a part of yourself that may have to take up space in places that you are nervous to, who may need to speak up in times when it's difficult to speak up or you're not used to speaking up. It's being assertive in times where it's, can be really nerve-wracking to be assertive. It can also be fighting for yourself, standing up for yourself. It can also be the way that you tackle things in life as a warrior, as someone who is confident in their strategy, in their tactics, in their defense and attack, and how they navigate the battlefield of life. This is something that Freya wants you to work on embracing right now, and as we see in the card in the middle, breaking free, this idea that this part of you that, remains in the unconscious breaks free instead. And I think it's really interesting here, the imagery of this card. It's like being offered something that is bright and light. And it's like the mystery of being offered something and what that can mean. Sounds like there might be something with a bit of a leap for you to take, a choice to take, an offer to accept. And she wants you to see that just because something may remain in the unconscious sometimes or may not be as forward or prevalent, it doesn't mean that it's not a part of you. And it doesn't mean that it's not a possibility for you to be able to sort of break free of certain expectations or ways of previously doing. Makes a lot of sense. Oh, that's good. You're welcome. I'm glad it makes sense. They also say this line of allow yourself to shine, allow yourself to be seen and be noticed. Which feels very them to say, I feel like. Being perceived is hard, but also asked of us very often. Viv, are you still here? Because it's your turn for a reading. They've been trying to encourage you to set more boundaries and talk more with new people. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. Amazing. I'm glad that it was very much coming through with what they wanted to say then. I knew it was going to be from Odin, but I didn't want to keep guessing people's readings. Because it was like after I had guessed, or not guessed, but like had mentioned Hermes coming through, I was like, who else is around to kind of pre-claim? And then I was thinking, oh, it's going to be Odin for Viv. I don't think it's you being predictable. I think it's you aligning with him wanting to be the deity coming through with a message. The dinosaur emoji is so funny. Hello? Bajillion cards just flew out. I wasn't taking all of those because that was just me being clumsy. Okay, 3 cards. Okay. Well, first things first, it seems like there's an advancement that he wants you to make on your path with him, on your devotion. Or on like how you sort of navigate things, I guess. It's like, you know, when you're advancing on your path and you're learning new things and new strategies and tactics. But let's talk about how we get there first. So we have the 6 of Strength here, which is recognition of you. It's a great card. It's about celebration, about recognition, about him seeing where you are and what you've done and what you're doing right now. It's great. I think it's really cool. And then he kind of gets right into the next point. He's like, all right, time for your next choice. Because here's the 7 of Charisma. And he's like, you know, you've done the work. You've grown the fruit. You're harvesting the fruit. And then what's next after this? Because I think he's really seeing an opportunity for you to really dive into something new right now. I don't know if it's because you've recently like learnt a lot about a certain thing and you feel like you're sort of moving past that, moving on, whether he's just saying that because of like where you're at the moment. Otherwise, like, you know, if he thinks you have the capacity at the moment to do so. But yeah, there's definitely something coming through in terms of you having done a lot of hard work on something already and being recognized for that, and it being time to explore something else. We have the 9 of Intelligence here. And this card always comes across to me very much around spiritual development, around being able to use senses beyond our usual senses. So of course, clair senses, astral senses, however you may want to call it, being connected to things beyond, you know, or just like spiritual things. You know, we can see this person with their eyes closed. There's like a bit of a glowing halo around them, and they have their hands in a certain gesture with the eye, and then these beings up here. So if there's a certain advancement you've kind of been looking at in terms of your communication with spiritual deities or worlds, or some sort of like new practice that's on a similar line with that you may want to look into exploring, researching, or trying out, then he's definitely encouraging it and saying it's time. Is there anything that comes to mind or that you may have been already looking at that he may be talking about? Because it could be something like specifically in your religion as well, because I'm not a practitioner of Norse paganism, so I have a very vague idea of what sort of things maybe referred to here, apart from the very general like deity and spirit communication things. Thank you for lurking, and I hope your next latte is good and doesn't spill. I knocked on wood. Oh, cool. Studying in his honor. Amazing. I mean, I think that's cool. That's nice, I think, to integrate deity devotion into routines and stuff like that. I think the more, like, when you start to dedicate more time to him through this, he's going to reveal more of what he means about what he wants to sort of see, or what he might be interested in you engaging. Yeah, I think that's great. That's a good idea, and I think it will work out for you in your favor. But yeah, that is your message from him. I think a very nice one about him recognizing your work and how you're transitioning into this new, form of study and routine. And yeah, I can definitely see him coming through with some fresh ideas for you as you spend more time with him. So hopefully that sits well with you. You are welcome, and thank you, Odin, of course. Citrina, it is your turn. let me know what you'd like a reading on. I am going to hydrate. If you haven't hydrated recently, then please do. If whatever you have on your mind is within, you know, the scope of what I can read on, then feel free to write it out if you'd like. It doesn't have to be a general reading. You feel misunderstood and outcast by someone and not sure how to move forward. Okay, let's see how we can read for that one. Oh, Viv, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. Were you interested in having a second reading? Okay, these cards are very interesting and very straightforward as well about their advice for you. So the first card we have here for your situation is the Tower. We also have the Five of Swords. And the Four of Swords. Oh, thank you, Viv. I appreciate your kindness and generosity as well. So, these cards when it comes to your situation, when we start with the Tower, it's this card about shaking foundations and things crumbling over, and it's one of the cards that people find the scariest and then the most intimidated by, right? It tends to be described like having a tower moment when things sort of feel uneasy and shaken and difficult to navigate. And that may be where you are right now because of this person who is misunderstanding you and outcasting you. And that is even reflected in this Five of Swords. We can see this person at the front here, and these people, they're very separated. These people at the back have their backs turned to this person. This person's trying to carry all the swords, yet no one else is participating. And it's really touching on that feeling of being outcast and misunderstood and feeling like you have to carry all of the load. And you're the one who's trying to maybe try and fix the situation, or you're trying to feel heard and understood, and you're trying not to get pushed away. Oh, okay. I guess that card's yours as well. Queen of Pentacles. when I see the Tower here, and what immediately came to mind when I saw it is this idea that sometimes we try to control things in situations where we feel threatened or it's, you know, difficult emotionally for us to deal with in a very valid way, right? So this is not me saying at all that you shouldn't feel the way you feel, but really saying, you know, there's a lot going on and there's a lot that you may be trying to handle or trying to manage or trying to, you know, soften the blow almost. But the Tower here actually tells you or is advising you then that sometimes it's better to let things happen, to let things go, to let things tumble, to let the foundations shake. Because if the foundations are shaking, if this is happening, well, that means the foundations weren't really that good in the first place. Oh, resonating very much so far. Okay, cool, and you get what I mean. That's great. Yeah, it's sort of like if they're shaking, they're breaking apart. If they're falling, then they weren't good in the first place. And sometimes you need those Tower moments, those things shifting and breaking apart in order for you to bring things together again, right? Let these people do what they do. If they're saying things, if they're like outcasting you, then that's on them, not on you. And it can hurt and it feels really bad. But they're not the only people in the world, and they're not the best of people if they're doing this either. The Four of Swords, I think, is such a power move here because it's this card of rest and meditation. And it's sort of like, what better way to show these people that they can't hurt you, or they you know, they're hurting you, but they can't bother you, they can't do anything against you really, than you actually letting yourself sit back and have your own space and time and focusing on your own thing while they let whatever happens happen with them, because they will deal with all of that. And you can actually choose to let it happen and not try to save others or try to like mend things that don't need to be mended. You know, give yourself some time. Yeah, let it lie. Like, you know, take care of yourself, treat yourself, and, you know, surround yourself with better people. The Queen of Pentacles is your reminder that you're always going to be provided for, you know, in work, in school, in whatever environment you're in, and on your path, financially, materially. These people, they're not, you know, they're not going to provide for you like this. But the Queen of Pentacles is your reminder that, you know, when you do this, when you embrace the Four of Swords, you're always going to get the Queen of Pentacles. You're always going to be cared for and provided for. And that's your guidance in terms of your situation. You are welcome, Citrina. I wish you the best in your situation and much healing and goodness coming your way. And thank you for coming in and requesting the reading. Okay, well, that brings us to the end of our queue for today. And I'm probably going to be going to sleep earlier tonight rather than an hour later, as I do have things in the morning and I'm a bit eepy sleepy. Ah, I'm glad. I'm very happy to be here to do readings for folks and hopefully help them out. Yes, I'm gonna have a good Four of Swords myself. Gotta get good sleep and rest up. We are here every week, same time, to do readings, so feel free to come back and join us again for a good time and some readings. You can also check me out at my other links, which are in my About section, and also join my Discord server if you are interested. Feel free to donate at any time at my Ko-fi. And yeah, thank you so much for all of your support. Let's go see if we can raid anyone today. Oh, I'm glad you're excited for my presentation. Will hopefully be a good one. Momo's streaming. Okay, let's go raid Momo, who is a friend of ours. Thank you so much, lovely people. Have a great day, night, time zone, and yeah, let's go raid our friend.